It's a Houston institution with a colorful past.
I think a big part of what we do is try to treat people like they're guests in our house.
Customers at Molina's Cantina have been dining here for decades.
We still have guests that come in that remember dining with our grandparents.
Molina's is the city's oldest family-owned and operated restaurant.
Molina's is 77 years old.
This iconic restaurant was founded in 1941 by Raul Molina Jr.'s father. Raul Sr. grew up in Mexico, one of 10 children. He came to Houston in search of a better life, first getting a job building a pipeline.
He had an older brother that was already working in a hotel as a chef. And he told him, Raul, he said, I can get you a job here as a busboy. So he took the job. He quit the pipeline, and that started his career in the restaurant business.
But Raul Sr. never lost sight of his dream, owning his own business. He got married, and he and his wife opened a restaurant on West Gray in 1941.
We lived upstairs in one room there. I remember sleeping on the floor, both my brother and I.
But soon, the Molinas bought another restaurant on South Main, then called Mexico City.
I got a permanent job too, washing dishes and cook helper. And I was every bit of 13 years old then. And I told my dad, you know, it's called Mexico City Restaurant. Number one, it's awful long and doesn't really say who we are. So I think we ought to change this to Molina's Mexico City Restaurant.
In the 1950s, Molina's Cantina went up on the marquee.
In 1950s, the 60s, up to the 70s, I mean, Mexican food took off, and really, we were just in the right business at the right time.
In fact, Molina's is even credited with helping to invent Tex-Mex cuisine. Molina's started coming up with new dishes that blended traditional Mexican dishes with Texas comfort foods.
One of the biggest items in the wintertime was chili, bowl of chili, beans, this, you know, enchiladas.
Chili con queso became one of the most popular items on the menu. A waiter helped to create another signature dish when he suggested putting a little something extra in the queso.
Put a spoonful of taco meat on it. You look at, okay, and then he chunks it up and served it, and that started Jose's Dip. It's one of the most popular dishes we have there.
Another big hit, the frozen margarita.
And that's kicked off real popular.
Molina's has certainly seen its fair share of notable customers. Former President George H.W. Bush and his wife Barbara were regulars for years.
And then, of course, the Secret Service would come in, and they're already dressed in black, you know, this real not smiling. When a customer come in and say, hey, Molina, there's a couple of dudes out there that say, won't let me park in that place, and you ought to do something about that. I said, well, sir, I said, I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but Vice President Bush is coming in. Oh, get out of here.
Molina's now has 2 locations run by Raul Jr.'s 3 sons, Roberto, Ricardo, and Raul III.
I'm very proud of them. They always want the son or daughter following their footsteps. And it's very seldom that you ever get anybody going to the 3rd generation.
I watched my grandparents, run the restaurants my entire life. I think they'd be really proud of us, Hopefully there will be a 4th generation.